Today, I want to answer the question, is the COVID-19 vaccine the mark of the beast? Do you already have the mark of the beast without even knowing it? As we are bombarded by the coronavirus pandemic, a lot of people have wondered whether the COVID-19 vaccine will finally become the mark of the beast. This is an interesting topic, and I believe the answer to today's question would give us fresh insights into biblical prophecies. The first thing we need to know is, what is the beast? In the Bible, there are actually two beasts mentioned. The first one is found in Revelation 13 verse 1 to 5, where we read, "Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having the 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and his great authority. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, 'Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him?' And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And he was given authority to continue for 42 months." There are a lot of things we can learn from here. The first beast here is a Roman Empire that will rise from Europe. The statement, "his deadly wound was healed," refers to the collapse of the Roman Empire hundreds of years ago. But now, his wound has been healed and will now become a major political power at the time of the end. As we have read, the Roman Empire is so powerful that it has been given power, throne, and authority. But who is behind this powerful political entity? The great dragon we know as Satan. So the people on earth marveled and worshipped the beast. This beast will be given 42 months to rule, which is equivalent to 3.5 years. In Bible prophecy, the 3.5 year period is generally accepted as referring to the Great Tribulation, a time of unparalleled suffering, pain, and death. The Messiah described the extent of destruction this Great Tribulation has in the world. We read in Matthew 24 verse 21 to 23. "For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh will be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened." So this beast's power will reach its peak during the Great Tribulation. Let's go to the second beast. We read about it in Revelation 13 verse 11. "Then I saw another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon." As you can see, the second beast has 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. We know that Yahshua, or Jesus Christ, is pictured as a lamb. So this second beast will portray himself as a religious leader, but instead of speaking the things of God, he will speak the things of Satan. Let's continue reading Revelation 13 verse 12. "And he, the beast, exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." As you can see, the 2 beasts represent political power and religious power. So the second beast will cause the people to worship the first beast. And how will the second beast do this? We read in verse 13 to 15. "He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth and the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed." We see here that the second beast will perform great signs of wonders before the sight of men. Through these miracles, people will be deceived and will be led to worship the first beast. What will happen if you don't worship the beast? You will be killed, as we read in verse 15. You may think that the beast might only deceive a few people. Surely, it is so obvious that this beast is a satanic entity. But think again. In verse 16 we read, "It causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead." It says here, "He will cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave." Today, there are about 2 billion people who claim to be adherents of the Christian faith. So you can see from these verses that even these Christians who proclaim to be followers of Christ will be deceived. So, what will happen to these people who are deceived? They will receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. We are now seeing the mention of the mark of the beast here. So we read on verse 17, "And that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." Let's continue reading verse 18. "Here is the wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. His number is 666. With all this in mind, we can now answer the main question. Is the COVID-19 vaccine the mark of the beast? For the mark of the beast to appear, there are certain conditions that we must first meet. There should be the obvious resurrection of the Roman Empire coming from Europe, which is the first beast. Do you see the resurrected Roman Empire today? Well, the answer is no. Another thing we must consider is the second beast, or the religious leader who will deceive many. This religious leader will cause people to worship the Roman Empire's political, economic, and military power. We read more details of this religious leader in 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3-4. We read, "Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day, the day of the Lord, will not come unless the falling away comes first." Notice, Paul said that the day of the Lord will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. The question now is, do we see this man of sin, the son of perdition, the false prophet, who is referred in Revelation as the beast? Obviously, no, not yet. We see that when this man of sin is revealed, he will sit as God in the temple of God and even showing himself as God. Not only that, but in Revelation 13 verse 13, he will perform great signs and even call fire from heaven. Friends, this will not be done in secret, but it will be made public so that many people will be deceived. So since we don't see the resurrected Roman Empire yet and the great false religious leader, then we can certainly be sure that the mark of the beast isn't here yet with us. We can be sure that the COVID-19 vaccine is not the mark of the beast. It's not here yet. So as Paul mentioned in 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3, "Let no one deceive you by any means." He added a warning too in verse 1 and 2 of the same chapter. "Now brethren, concerning the coming of our Lord Yahshua or Jesus Christ, and our gathering together to him, we ask you not to be soon shaken in mind or troubled, either by spirit, or by word, or by letter, as if from us, as though the day of Christ had come." Friends, this is a huge topic, so I highly recommend you read my blog entitled 7 Things You Should Know About the Mark of the Beast. You'll find the link in the description section below. To help you not to get deceived by the coming powerful political and false religious power, I would like to offer you a free copy of my ebook, The 7 Powerful Habits of Highly Effective Christians. In this book, you will discover the powerful habits of the spiritual giants and zealous servants of God. This book will also help you know how these habits transform them and how they can also transform you. I have put the link below. I hope this video has opened your eyes to new truths. If this video has blessed and inspired you, please share this video with your friends and family. I aim to upload new videos every week to keep you inspired and to help you learn more about God's way of life. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay in touch. That's it for me. I'm Joshua Infantado, Becoming Christians, praying that God will lead you to all truths. See you in the next video.